Dramani Mahama, former president, on one so as the flag bearer at the NDC in the year 2020. It is a no BBNia NDC consultant near Tvxyz or that's why a vibrant or party. Now, Adia Bakwana, dear, as a Ghana for Nancy, a home commodino, almost will be interested because of the impact our economy. So, Adia for an electronic transaction levy and a bill at the parliament, says, parliamentarians have shown that Robert Kaiser before the parliamentary recess. No, Marcel for a fanumi de Bueni, Emma and I'm so Emma, one more de Mrana to ho, Aquaba, Edaso Conco. Parliament, a minority side, ne say one more to money to send a Ghana for Bibri, na civil society organizations Bibri, as well as seminal. But say a baby, Yankopon Quanin, na say a baby, na Yankopon Quanin, now so for new being so to me who, send a near Manisi Continano, Mkosia, John Dramani Mamano. Initially, name him as some cray quiet, but the way na reports about on teachers say one more coin for Cassia Najna e levy soa, na near now so for ye air canina say. One more percent kebeya anka yera Mahama NDA nimu nankebia onen ne minority for no one be to me aye na ebia one anobaba ebia to me aba na adwobre wa ba se ne be aban be to me age 11 na tum na ko munyina aboa na edi mpuntu aba. But the question amafo bisa ne 6.9 billion ne over 200 billion ade ama aban 6.9 na be aban den yanko na yanko hwe video no se ne enkomobo no si koye wo yewra John Dramani Mahama ne office wa cantonment wa bra so fo ye koshia no eno no so nsema okan.
This morning we are here on a peace mission. Very peaceful. We have come, as I have introduced ourselves, as heads of churches of the various associations and groupings in Ghana. Our history has it that the church has played a very significant role in our development and in the welfare of our people. So as major stakeholders, when things become of concern, we are all to take it up and see how best we can find answers and resolutions to it, so that at the end of the day, what we preach and what governance is all about can be achieved, all to the glory of God. Getting to the last quarter of last year, we all experienced what our country has never experienced before, maybe from the very beginning, from the very first month, when we had our parliament as it is now. As you rightly mentioned, whether we have a minority or have a majority, but the hung parliament. When it came to the hilt, when they were about closing with the introduction of the budget and the year levy and what went on the last but one day of Parliament, where there were exchanges resulting in some fights and all that. And the churches or the Christian bodies became alarmed and said, we will not sit, but we want to take a very bold step in seeing how best together we can find solution to it. So we have made various approaches. We have met the Minister of Finance, we have met the majority in Parliament, the head, we've met some members of the minority, we also met the Minister of Finance again for discussions. Then our last meeting was with the President of the nation. When we also had a very fruitful interaction with the Speaker of the Right Honorable Speaker of Parliament. And we saying that there are other major stakeholders for whom we need to also make approaches and see how best we can find answers to what is happening to us, looking at all the circumstances and the conditions around us, especially what is happening in our sub-region, not only looking at what is happening here in our country, but what is even around our sub-region. And it became very necessary at our meeting that the series of interventions and interactions, we cannot leave His Excellency, the former president, behind, but to also make a move to see him and see how best we can all have discussions and look at what is happening to us in our country, and if there is a way out by which we can all look at it and come to a resolution.
You get a detail of, what our concerns are, you will understand the viewpoint from which we are coming. But I do think that this meeting is timely, and it's good to hear from all sides. And I'm sure that by the time you have heard what we have to say, you realize that the problem is much deeper than you think. And that's why I brought some of the MPs here. That fight was a fight for democracy. There's no way a speaker can sit in the chair, relinquish the chair, let somebody else come and sit in it, and take a vote in something that he has presided over. The Constitution is clear. You take a voice vote, ayes or nays. If somebody challenges it, it means that we don't agree with your choice. So you, the speaker, must sit in the chair and do a division. And then you say, I've done the division, the accounting, I'm now going to get out of the chair and let the second deputy speaker who has voted come and sit in so that I can also go and vote. Our Constitution doesn't allow that. And it was felt that our MPs should sit timidly and let them pass this unconstitutionality. It won't happen. And so, yes, I'm happy that that rowdy scene has woken your consciences that you must intervene, because there's a lot that is happening in this country that if we don't intervene, it would upset our democracy. The Fourth Republic has been the most enduring, and we must protect it. And all of us must stand up and protect it. Dialogue is not just the only issue. Dialogue comes from the ruling party. We are in opposition. We have nothing. If the ruling party says come and dialogue, of course we'll come and we'll sit and dialogue. If you are bringing something like e-levy, why was there no dialogue before you introduce it in Parliament? It's only after you introduce it and there's a pushback, then you say come and let's dialogue. But you go and set your 1.75% and then you bring it and say, because there's a pushback, the country is pushing back, the minority is pushing back, then you say, okay, let's dialogue. Okay, I'll give you 1.5. It's like...
All right, Nipo former President John Dramani Mahama, senior wono senior so for ne kind, but before that, no Right Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo, wono presiding bishop at the Methodist Church Ghana, wono ni dia so for ne mu apostle Nyamecha ono so eda Pentecost ano so for akese bebre ko ho a wono mo kasa omampanyi ebetie, wono mo kasa wono mo kura de greater part of Ghana population bebria say Ghana Christopher Dawson bebrinti sorry say nya Tvxyz na akwa Pentecost be committed this presbytery sorry for no Dawson omo kasa kire wo no ma sorry ma wo mbetieti Reverend Right Reverend Dr. Paul Boafo asemna okan no kire say oman yi se ne niam si kono ehon ahia say ye kan ye hu bom na afi nsem bi wo ho a ye ndi ano baba ya ansa na oman no atumi akọ ye ejeje mu. And I John Dramani Mahama kasa no say ofiri say some meeting we kra ebre na twem because ensem bebre sisi nanka wo hwe say bia bibisa betumi si batansi na ne etie nie Ghana de a ye bone emfa ho ne de wo ye free say abato na ekọ so parliament no free say dom kuma no so mo to twede krampo na wo mo de bo Ghana kabima minka bia mamu no ho ban efiri say kronfo kra wi ade na suppose for kochino no ye rofa wo mo tumi de force emmoa no sa force no in law no eyade ehu hia yagitum say obetumi de minimal force ache kronfo na ode na ba mra na nim nti sa na ema na ekoso no de onde obetumi aba ma ba so say etumi eba na sa ene sa nkomo na yedie wadwen kire obetumi de aba ewo Facebook mo ana mo hwe wo Power FM Facebook page no so na Tvxyz Facebook page no so obetumi de madwen kire aba test line no so wo ha ye bebo so de akire anopei mini owura Henry Akoto ena twetwe nkomo ena no pay wo 2020 parliamentary candidate ma NDC ewo oforikum kumase menene ebeba nkomo no mebo abebisa ne se saa nkomodidie yi se no si hu no na sofo yi adenti na o ma che saa ne ma we ko but before that ma menka for prostate joy emfama ena no pay prostate joy do what the 35 years kwa wadaroma ko pebi na no 35 years ko the prostate no nyina no na ebibrem ha ne ewiasa fa na bebia mema cancer takuye pa prostate cancer nti wo bon ho ban free when da ebeboa ebema odwonso no emu ada ho kama wo bema no onte eya obia wo mti prostate joy betima boa 35 years and above won yare a ne de bia na one but wo so onya prostate issues no de bia obenu mienu na esa no pa ba ko anwumre ba ko edro yi yaje atum se uye obi na se odwonso ne mu ya na se wo kompam na se ebia agro no koso na de no na afi won so de ya wonkwa na wote de ne kope prostate joy ni be prevent prostate na afi asa treat na prostate joy is safe and efficacious na say ye de afa ntitim anase enrumu machines mu ama hu say etumi ye adwuma ye FDA nso age atum say ye ntonfa ma mema na omono be be eton aduru bia obenye bi nkanka ne NS chemist na afi Lina pharmacy top up pharmacy Unicom na afi ne keka ka ho repair sheba 0244727028 from Pennyfo ebetumi age so Christian Ghana Christian University College so 51 years near yet tell man for courses ne doors or accounting, marketing, public health, journalism, human resource management, electrical and electronics engineering, green energy engineering, film acting, sinikwa adwuma sa wo pese wo nso kotwa sini na te sinikwa ase a wadaroma kosukumo 51 years ya tete amanfo nyamesuro kwan so ama ene wo no manya adwuma bebre ye adwuma ye de enye problem kwa regular Monday to Friday ye ho weekend nso ye betuma abo na afi nso atuma abesua de na wo sandwich courses ahodo hwehwe ye ewo amrahia dodo wa adenta kwan no so wa ape o perform si bi ato abra ye ho ne bra beto bi ewo adenta dodo wa kwan no so wa amrahia o betuma for 0240695883 0204069583 anase ghanacu.com ko abefo ntentafidi no so a wo betumi anya eye form si bi nso atumi akwa purchase ama bibia konkan owura Henry Akoto former menkasa former mpo one 2020 parliamentary candidate ma NDC amanyoko wo fori krome wa santimantem openya akwa ba ya minia yesha ya chakakra
miso na se
nyame adom yesha opa sene eja kakra akani na bibia be fine na nkomodidie we ya de daga na fa akoma so asofo no adentina sabre no mu ehunu se ese mu NDC fo mone aban no kokese anase mogogo mo ho na aban so etumi nyante ase bia woni ma bi ho
mini ama me na wase na me sanche motifo nyina no pay
ejo so
na in fact I can't say traffic na very very frustrating no
to say traffic remze na no na obi asama o kanise emze se ne aban ka se e-levy betuma solve ne mai so ye boa mo pass anwa traffic no so better
anyway but mamenchia obia na I mean, go straight to Asama Busami.
Yeah.
Very simple. What I say. We Busa say all this while Ghana will be an India course and Amibwa. And also I'll be TV so radio so Bebia Ubia can be chess or mine. You can see there is a tie. Minary a fantasy and a yes we so fantasy. Oko emrasi bedwemu a minuanum MP before ade bi omude ba omu table anopa wi anyime bia no omude ba NDC force I can see there need to be a dialogue ni mu say won say nuanum anase papa asofo ye wo Ghana ha so many months na atwam ilevio dien na ekoso na parliament kikri Afina, Bonus was a moko, John Domani Mahoma. No, I think say late. Very late. But I never call so much and say we have a mandate as a political party and as a people in this country. When you read the Constitution, Constitution Article 1 coming down, we need to protect the Constitution. A bad day, Enna, a papa Fenijo, second deputy. What matna kunyuma preside over a meeting. Now was sorry. If you na kunya na watimino. Now was about to aba. Na second deputy about betra no kujum. We are no sorry. What kind of gymnastics is this? my best on Abu Sadi Koso. Very, very unconstitutional. They have violated all, in fact, the provisions in Article 1042 coming down. It talks about the voting in Parliament. And here, funny, you can say, oh, you throw your Bible, that is a Bible organ and Constitution. We say, we speak out to me, sorry. Right,
Reverend Boafo Kasano Kase, one more accord a year. Some members of parliament or minority and majority side or man who finance minister and or man penny and son or moba a former President John Mahama. Unni GD say one whom majority for no Joe Wise no can who be a ebia or catcher and send you any.
Kobu catcher and send in Yankee Betty. In fact, this is not the time to shield anybody. Don't you say? And you have in your back at Asumu, so you did the same BCC. At the end, and yet. We don't have to condone something very unconstitutional. Yes, sir. They said why you cool. What to what's the the provisions in the constitution? What to and how did the officer nowadays? I mean, where do you do this? Yes, sir. Yes, so for no so. I dear back where I am. Yapan say do be an air quite say ye tea will be a joby. Try it to my. Before 2016 elections, the Asofo Akese Ghana had maybe in some of course, it is good say ye pay asumdwe. Ye nyina ye pa asumdwe. But ade ba ko say san hwe biem say asumdwe no yi manage from the people.
Exactly.
Eti nipa na ye hye mra ma won. Se mra na ye hye ma nipa no so omo ntiase a. Ana say omo hunu sa ade na emmo ma. Ade na aban ye for so certain chinchina ade we de mu po ye de be shamko.
Eti do you see say asofo no Reverend your friends Apostle Nyamechemone Right Reverend Dr. Aboafomo say a wo mu to the line of government say na be ya in a subtle way no ye di 11 e be ba be Ghana for kon.
Ah na ka mo ko de no mko ye. They went there to tell Openyi say no more come agribre on tiase na just enkoso nyesa.
But I think say Oman ye very specific say wono mo ntintum say eba amamuo no nsensem na NDC for concern say corporation na sofa because aban no tumi no be cancel mo be wi na akwa akosesa no. So I think say be no na no mpese wo mo kase wo sisi an hang parliament no akwa akwa eti say 137 ti bibia ni a mo nyina mano nko benkum na asumdwe mbra. So it doesn't necessarily mean say be 11 no na nkai dia yemfa mbra na wo hu ni sa.
Me hu ni sa.
Hu ni say.
Me hu ni say one asofo do de sebi om de committee the masses na me boa. Ye mu say wo say asofo no mo tie the Ghana for kan. Efasa 11 wana omoti Ghana for no ne ahochira ni pekum
omoti radio omhwe TV.
So I expect them to do the right thing, not to come and tell us yente ase na ma asumdwemra
calling for cool heads in your writing.
Oh good na me kan say asumdwe dey ade papa ye ti Ghana na nya asumdwe ne ye pa na nka ye hwema ye nuanu MPP for titia ye constitution ye etugu ya senka asema enu nti ne ye sa kitikiti ni ba ye no se kitikiti na ma na etina omo mutimi ye sa de na nka Ghana say e chese aban bi obebe bia no onu so betima famra na hye ne nsem no aye ne se de opi bia. And do you think that would be good for the country? Bibusa, do you think that would be good? It would never be good. It also MPP for pain say and no ma omo ye ne no ma omo twi koba any ade no enye papa. They have to stop that. Say person or ye tena se ne dialogue a e ya de papa. But we kwanya omo de first way MPP for adapt some style bi. Oba, do you remember when Gabi Asaroche Dako went to friends
me kaipa so
okoye na response by so oti ade achi omo so no mo ye
say
who the MPP ye ade achi no mo ye nipa baako court. You saw it.
It offers that they are rather not ready for cooperation to exist.
What they are doing no also mo so magic che nya na achichire and this affairs na parliament no they can have their way. Say 137 or man na ye bu sisi no whether they like it or not, how many NDC parliamentarians in any man.
But for many MP also say on your business, so it means that bro so one.
From the MP, oh look, let me tell you, what we know, our Ghana and say, you will nipa 137 or more NDC, you will nipa 137 or more MPP. He came to Parliament as an independent candidate. He decided later to join. And Kwakuzi saying, "What decided to join? Kwakuzi saying, what I say? The will of the people, no, Master, we yet dying. The nipa ne kan Ghana and also muti. If they don't listen to the plight of the people, now, okay." And now we are me to call Nigeria. Because Nigeria, no, Madam Fubaku, because Rana, you na Omame car. Omame car said, "Me call a friend say filling station in Kotofu." Who do you say Kotofu or filling station? Fuel 1 gallon or 7 Ghana cedis 20 pesos. Me the basic man.
Saying
7 Ghana cedis 20 pesos.
1 gallon.
Me na make catch
Nigeria.
Yes, you can check it.
So more oil no. So to be rich in Ghana.
Yentubi. Yenye muska.
Abaya nya muska.
Ah? Yenye muska bebrebe. Ama we yenye muska bebrebe. Esi abaya bia. So what are you saying? We are around 31 Ghana cedis. It tells you there's something wrong in the country.
Which is?
Bibi nkoye.
And only there.
To whom much is given, much is expected. Nipa bia no se o minuti fie. Na o kojo ye adwuma bi ofio na aso kojo nyi ni ye. Na mama kojo 10 cedis na ode ye adwuma. Na aso kojo nyi ni ye. Na me de ma adwuma no ma o. Me de adwuma no ma o wie no. Na me ma 20 cedis. No, even 30 cedis. Se ko ye adwuma ko na. Na kojo ye no. Me ba ya femfram and anaka kojo de o en kwa na nkeye. Inti wo no sa nipa ya wo be ka kire se kojo adwuma nye inti emfa ma no masa ma osika bebe dia na wo expect say me kan kire
and only there's a wow but back to sa asofo you want do you feel say a edumra esa sorry for na ankasa no ye sha say e ma asofo no warning because me kwa so ya normally me to offering na mobile money and me do to offering bebre eti ebra so say ye ma asofo no warning say omo kire bebe omo gina enye saa niema bi wo ho a e be hwere omo in terms of maybe our tithe ni offering.
Do you know what? I tweeted something yesterday. The catch asofo organizers. I'm not against the church, but I'm against asofo as they say omo share abanechi. Try to condone unconstitutionality normal ekoso ayenye
ba omo kan pefe say omo sha abanchi
tibeba
ho mo sha abanchi no
tibeba be say asofo no
emuni ehe
asofo mu ko yenyina
omo sha abanchi
mi nyi ba ko nyi mi mu fu mo mu ko je mo nyina
o kwa sorry ben
me ko methodist
osofo panyi ka ho
ai
oso sha abanchi
wa nya de
osofo panyi
o ma che
normal ko hwese aso be baba no wa nya de.
Let me tell you, do you know something I say my way say we are president you see it make when you catch us ade ayenye it 2 years of na so ya ade enya
not my anointed
and yet touch not my anointed. The anointed also knows that there are people in the country that are suffering
until free
that they need to listen to them.
Omo akosha abanchi
It's too late and no my koso ba fit to into mu very late.
Okay, say it's too late. Me
say say omo koso yesi a so mu koso yesi a ebe ma se bi asori kokoedu bebi a ne ko be bi mu den
oh
ebe ma tight tua offering to because look offering na ye tua ne tight na tua eye ahiafo no mo ho kire ono a ne ko asori dem ko yesa adwuma no ananim sa
no correct
o ma ne ko tua it is said nipa na no mo ho kire o mo Ghana ha nipa no mo asori dem they are not different from the people outside. The same people. So what I say omo so na ye ka o masema ma wo se me ko send bisika me bisika makonya shemboto makodi me pa makoye libra construction makonya me 100 Ghana cedis ashemboto na 200 Ghana cedis me send bi akoma sister adwa me esa be tibi se sika no bi na me ko so a concrete na aban no enfa
na say taxes be bra etu aban nya dwuma di bi ma ye so je tax
tell me about me say you don't tax a capital.
Sure.
you don't tax what obisika, you know, that is double taxation. I don't know cost. And yeah, the African countries say try when share more try some be e-living says if they cost. Look, baby I drew no. The baby I drew as our minds say no. We need to really know our priorities as a country. We need to really understand the people and what they really want. Or many say, well, central for Ukakasa, near so much near the Wakwashi. Look at what is happening. I didn't hear there's some. I expect there's so for say, Omon Casantian and not go Fado. Said the Ecoson, Omon Casantiano.
Omon Casantiano.
Yes, about the Ecoson. Say, Oman Penny so Nikana.
About Omudi Cashiana, son of Mobile Ramama.
Say, the Ecoson to my penny. Yet, and central for the Mushe a prison, you know, we say near Besum. So when you tell some Casana, you'll be anxious.
Unim, Yababa Assembly, so but Ilya
coming back to e-levy assembly, the Mihuna say, I saw for no per se a croon mujua. Yes, he clean Jaya. Can be Janyasa.
Sanity.
If you baby and ever. Omunko said Jana if you Musini if you said Jano. Omunko no moon doom said Jano. Yes, they see it, baby.
I said Jania Mampeniana, finance minister.
Omunina.
Okay.
Omunko Tenasa cabinet, Omunina, Tenasa Guinea, the Ecosubia. So they all know what is happening.
By about more NDC for so born, so say more NDC for no. Especially when we are no more parliament. One more for 11 so pa, but I'm here say the pressure si free Ghana for Hobana. And I'm see, yeah, the young can be. Name Momo de Amon Copase. Ochilbe Fee Michael, Mrashebe Jenny, Emmanuel Job in South, or a deputy trades minister. Okodrum, in some hour near Manikayano, or see NDC for so. Young is the Emra.
Maggie, I'm calling out for my end. It's meaning I am so. I never could what young can say, young try 11 near Cock World Bank, and I say a Cock IMF. See a Cock or Jibusia. In your court here now, on my cat, and not done before to say. Free senior high school, one country. Munina, Manam, my real school, I'm a school, I'm a school. Sunset. Wait a moment, you're just Quaco. Miss Samuel Bushafo. Me a member of parliament. Many NDC for the parliament. There be I am on here to move to parliament. Who NDC for no? NDC for no? Any MPP for no? On more parliament. Yangina Yakitum. NDC for no? Edjatum say, you live in a year. There be Omka say, Yangi, who near push and passing 11 near passing a boy. Nemo, the only to be member country, or mine is a woman to country, or my normal water over Domunia. And Unti, and this is for the crash, I say, and the PIC and country. Nemo, only to be my country, and no one at your parliament will start if you have only a number. Edmisamo, me to
Openya tini nke Michael Ochiriba fi oye mrasebe dwenima New Dwabo Ase South abato mpeso so that is Koforidua Township. Ono eno den sansem ya tudwa. Yente se enura babra se wasamo akire se enye nokre but MPs no more minorities side yente omonka. Honorable Kwekuri Kithagen ene Kwame ebeto ankomo no so enche bia. Minim so wanu ye dia but one Michael Bafi mu nyina na prayer ene ono no wa cross akwaja. Wo hwe nsem ya wo Kenya as NDC ni usom sen.
Very, very unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. So, Sebi, we Mrashebi Jani, Nipa to Obama, se connect on name or parliament, Yanshem Rao Ghana, didn't for so back in your constituency. Now, could you do now, camera douse, ultra and try a quaint beer now, say, I mean, it's very, very unfortunate. I hear from the NDC for MPs. It's good so I can say high risk in the EBA. Or can under autonomous. But I know a lot of MPs. We've been talking all the time. There's nothing like that. The crib be any asemna minia or chibe fikam. The crib be any. ni kure biara ni ya akohwie kese pa na odie akohwie kese na odie no say NDC for MP squad o matiase na you know I mean ayefa
o minister o
ayefa we minister any asem o kan no no si ni trase he should bow down he said it's shame very bad ayefa oh some people be so one church say much of manfa o he man look at the video man they even seem to be confused and almost force ade na draw on trim say you know call for that say ade na ye ka no sika sabo sika sabo sika e be gini ye nyimfi ya ndisi ni nkwa ho
obi abetua bi honorable me pesa ba onche biom na yewura ye Henry Akoto na ye ne ebo nkomo no wo parliamentary candidate at the NDC 2020 about no mewo Oforukrum ewo Asante Mantemu na 21st clinic seven cancer say sciatica o me sciatica expert ye adwuma ya ye didi aye kobai e bia na obi so yare say wona say fru sisi ebeka ukotodwe wachi ho saa no say ye twe wona ntumi nya ho hwe amesrew wo me sciatica expert wadaro mahwehwe mo ewo nkran ha heavy do building no wa dome market bo hu ya sanso na East Legon ye American house op ye traffic light ni nchemu ho na obi hu ye sumia ne ye wo ho wenchi ye wo ho brekum ye wo ho se hwedwabo so ye wo ho sanso na ye wo koforedua ministries important mo ye na manie 0540311311 0540311311 kai say ye 21st clinic Dr. Blessed Foster okwa obefhwew your lab services for why Arabia to say diabetes, hypertension, gonorrhea and stroke. Nemo ade ba kwa ye expert ho ende wo de fa yin fichire ye betene te sciatica. Dr. Foster Blessed yada say na I am Media Professional Institute say Brabesuan Central Dwuma no TV presenting no person kind news super so bonyum person ye camera technician and say o person we video and audio editing program production media law and ethics ye chiraw practicals na more enkran hanso mo chira de wo ye I am Media and Professional Institute no so bebre ye sem tro for baby bia ni ho a e won krom ha wontumi fa nwura into we attachment ne internship de e kokokura de mo wadaroma we school na when agents some tro adwuma hu a kona ko pick form say Great Commission TV wo mo office wo nungu akantamanto e ben St Michael Primary School 0245001574 0500200033 metwe ama kwame bekenkan eye nkomo ya yedi amanfo adwenkyira wo me ababa before that no me ko Owura Henry Akoto so Owura Henry Akoto se ya 11 hu sensem ya kan kwakoduru se na esi koya wo hwe Asante Mantema so share atmosphere no se ne niam asi kwana NDC chances set say dey nsem na timamufo ne ka fi se monne omo a ene ti wode bia
binu ma men kan chill straight ubekuma sa bontin sisi obi so ti de koso kuma sa go to Central Market ena kejitia unse boom Central Market kejitia obi onim kuma si bia na ho na nsem nyina pie fiba e ma no modwo mo no mo nti omo hokra se de koso Ghana sisi they are really disappointed. Really disappointed. And someone another danko kufado ba ejo mo be kachire omo e kachire Kumasi ni Asante mai obi biara no they were expecting him to really perform but when they Ghana they see $1 that say your man school or muko ye kwasai
free SHS or
free SHS we unim dia course up to date textbooks me Mako School University Primary Kumasi textbooks am I minim de beba
ntia mo for dey na makachira bai
ye ko PTA meeting na see aka de be kan bia na books no ma me metima ko tro book de akoma me ma e wo school meeting tro book e fa akoma me ma wo school I just have to wait universities ye close universities over 4 weeks e ko 6 weeks ni ye nkura da so tech o musika o ma me de mo so mo family school me ye o ma de ni nyina wi o mo to ye nkyere o ma de enti Kumasi de wodu Asante regional they are really disappointed.
Does it mean say you to about
let me tell you minim nipa o mo frame me every day they are asking me Henry I want to join NDC and I'm saying NDC na nyame me dey awo if you want to join the party come you can always come and join anytime. Almost we are really disappointed in fact say pa na ndin so na na be ya nki ankoto abana ma
sanka mona more power and anka or parliament anka more NDC for anka may something different from the Nanakufa ye because we dey aban so pen yo
na say e bi dey aban nim no adwuma e di e no obi ahu bi ena we muso aba se na nadu dango gufaro wa man ka na obi anu se say na performance be da ba nyame pa na man be president obey president on di afia ko so o man se bu niamo se say strike baby onu an napku o so mo ko strike Thursday me boa o mo ko demonstration na mboa Thursday napku teachers me ilevia yesu eno ma boy de dendin o man se say cement bo de da na se mi ko to POP cement de akwa medjuma kakra bi POP cement ani turn 25 Ghana cedis plus they do 35 kra fine say cost 70 Ghana cedis one bag. Can you imagine? We are in February 2022. It didn't do December. 2 more years to go. POP cement a year do 70 Ghana cedis one bag. You quite nearby.
Okay.
Very serious.
It is a I want to so sembe na be kan dey check Ghana for.
They me catch Ghana for nyina ne say. If they are looking at me, they should just listen. And no more question. And no more question. We just need to know and decide for ourselves. Say, dear dream, you perceive a queer and I say, perceive a queer. Very simple. Very simple.
If you are sitting on a tour, Balubi, a one as I do. Before the car, Obia Hermany, or say she was sitting not to a papa. Say, what was it to them? Oh, Hermina, oh, TV now, Hermina, you know it. You know it. Yeah, that's it. Ora Henry Akoto or yeah, brands consultant or no any moma NDC ewo 2020 abatonum ewo ofoyukrum senka yento aba mano se mrashebedweni ena fofie anto ata but ohwe ni so se 2024 nyankopon boa obekwa kopie me mrashebedwafi wono na otese mene na edi nkomo no NDC ni mapapa nsem ne de yakeka ka bebiri na manfo so de o madwen kiraba Ora Henry Akoto me da se na me kokwa me ho Power FM studios messages ni nyina kura no ne nsem a manfo e ka ho brakwa me sa wotemen ka den sempa na Ghana for ka ansa kra na woni ya papa Kwakuri Kitegen asate abom nkomo no den na Ghana for ka
adia meteme da se PSO kra se one honorable Ejakoto adwin nkomo no obi busa se Ejakoto sa we wakwa brands expertise we kika normal ekoso e wo Ghana esisi ani a GIPC titiriu wo nsusu emuru nsusu se wo mu adwuma pa ya on e ba se wo mu ton Ghana e dia cha manfo mbetimi di o sika be so man mu ana Rakoto.
Very simple. In brand management, we call something an insight. And insight right now we find in Ghana as we speak. Insight in papa. Insight in saying, maybe the music about show my utie de koso no man sika se mo hyehyeye a fiscal space bibia na hu say ye disi kana manasa ye san de ka. Na wa aka sam yubusa say obi a odeka ye san bo ne besia. Obi odeka bibebe wontimi ntua ne ka o sa disike bi msa akoma no emu ano de ka mugu mu no ekwa didi no homa ya yes aka bo frogu mane. This is simple logic. Obia no yas bia ni wa odi disika ba be show man a owunu so odeka Fitch downgrade no Moody's CAA1. I mean I just say investor or no do also on risk or so take we as ni ehun bi da. It will never happen. What you say? Ghana and baby Eduno, we need to really understand where we are now and know where we want to go. Ni solve problems no free a chinka kranka sabi. What the bank ka? Now the bank trans now we bank ni say dey wusi shisha no man ni odwumadi na hu say utimi tue scan kakra. Otimi dwene hu say okay. And they would do say ametima san boa. But they say e ka say no. Yesika ka say the boy ho akoma no. Enso yen yedi tuaka wie ne di aka enso nipa okurum sese ni na namku omoko strike obi ebusa bibi so that say mine we are really ye gina nsuo ni mfimfin ye gina pumfimfin ya say emne ye say ye nya obi amanamba me yi amfirima ye wo problem.
So the way we are my Dwabo Ase ni power 97.9 PSO kra ene Ejakoto na twetwen ko no messages no pina wa oreku he na say menyini se MPP wo mbetimi agina eye abato adidi yanim titiri 2024 amomanya over 8,000 votes 1 year course wo Ghana isa ye Ruhala Musa was say etia asofonom ne kosi wo man Ghana bra ye to abawie ye no anasa abato ni no mesisi ye no asofonom mo ko dwom ama ho no obahunu saade we anka bia na and I so the sweetie say you asking question about what the MP said to the market woman. Do you believe in the lies? Obisa wo PSA or say wa obisa question we no e trona MP ni twa no would you tum salama to Haruna say National Pickpocket Party or also interpretation or the other no. But when you know say somebody achi Dwabo Ase Power 97.9 and I feel so Tvxyz and budi achi Facebook Live Power 979 to say the edi kan kan enche bia ne Honorable Kwaku Reketegan ebe twetwe nkomo Cape South Member of Parliament since your former Deputy Finance Minister, former Deputy Trades and Industry Minister Betenenka Yesika someone to tia baby yakodro Asembia head of economic management team Dr. Mohamed Baumia Eka Yerebeto Honorable Kwaku Reketega nanim obetini mu aye enkomo we eni se hwerew koso amu afidie ne na ha na mamen kamfo ba herbal center mawo nano ukodi agro wonsa na na se wabetia dislocate nompani bi enwa tochew wonante sie asesa ekuro bi atu kotwa bi da ho fako ba herbal center yebedresi kuro no na fe ya yesiesie ukama ukola shabi community 16 oboben Green FM obetima fra ba herbal center it was 0244988004 etamfo ba nyare wanyina bedwane and as Spanish garlic mixture so ebwa eyi enumka and afeso diabetes ye bono bongalat hypertension ye bono bongalat and as Spanish garlic mixture capsule and afeso Spanish ginkgo capsules so bwa ama adwene ye tiwidi aye adwuma mental sharpness se wusua de kawutrim ade bia bekwa wadwene mu bia no ebeka wutrim na watimi de adwuma Spanish ginkgo capsules and I make for the amount ebwa ma moja na de afurusane ye anante akwa adwene nim ama adwene na ye adwuma etu phone for 0266 114111 0266 114111 oko hello seba Kanshi drug lane tina teteba repash heba widema heba ekus pharmacy on sabeka noibi ato Bibe free I say who me bio anamo Tvxyz studio ba betwenka e Power 97.9 na feso wasa hweme e wo ye Tvxyz wa bra ye toa Dwabo Ase dwumadie so man no betena say ye no Honorable Kwaku Reketegan Cape South modeshia ba akono no wono na esi monamu e wo mrahye bedwafie ye ne betena say na ye din kon but answer na no quickly Solak Natural Clinic at the enoma bebre
You are welcome to Ghana Herb Therapeutics. Yamamu Akwaba, Ediba Ghana Herb Therapeutics. Yen and I the leading herbal pharmaceutical industry. Ewa Ghana ha. Yen any so adi hunu say. Yede ayaresa any eniji ebe mani penina. Na hano ye bomoden say yede abe from fidi ekuku dam. Any ekwan ahodo a ye nam so edi ye nduro. Now, but modern say you're running now, you're safe and efficacious with proven evidence. Your my running now, go abafom, send a bear obibia, so yes, you can you, so you, Munina Mutimi Atobi, Namunya Ayarsa, Edi Amamo. Our quality controller, Hano, and sorry, Ahudu P. A B any pH, a B any moisture content, a B as and Sunni total water extractive value. And sana essentially total solid residue. Near Abrante you know, or near friend the pH. Now pH no, a boy am I who say ye do no, acidic. anaasɛ ɛyɛ basic anaasɛ ɛyɛ neutral na ɛsan sɛ yɛn duro no nyinaa no yɛnim ne pH ne nti no si yɛhwehwɛ pH no na sɛ pH no a yɛhwehwɛ no asesa na ɛkyerɛ sɛ yɛn duro no n'ahoɔden no ɛbɛha adwen kakra nti yɛwɔ sɛ prɛkopɛ no yɛgyae adwuma a yɛyɛ wɔ duro no so nyinaa na yɛbɔ mmɔden sɛ yɛbɛyɛ ntotoe anaasɛ yɛbɛkɔrɛkte nea nti a pH no asesa ansa na yɛde yɛn duro no aba abɔnten aha no yɛde efidie a yɛfrɛ no sɛ moisture content analyzer ɛyɛ nhwehwɛmu ehunu sɛ nsuo dodoɔ a ɛgyina yɛduro no mu no ɛyɛ anaasɛ ɛnyɛ sɛ ɛboro mpɛmpɛnso a yɛhwehwɛ a anaasɛ ɛboro standard na yɛhwehwɛ no a yɛsan so de eduro no kɔ ne akɔhata mu yie ne abɔmmɔden sɛ eduro no moisture content no edu standard a yɛhwehwɛ ansa na yɛde aba bɔnten mfidie a aka nyinaa nso no ɛboa yɛn ɛma yɛtumi calculate ne yɛfrɛ no therapeutic dose ɛba no sana yɛhu eduro no dodoɔ a ɛwɔ so yɛtumi edigu capsule bie mu sɛnea ɛbɛyɛ sɛ wonom a ɛbɛtumi abɔ adwuma na ɛtumi asa wo yareɛ aha ɛna ahaban ahodoɔ a yɛde yɛ nnuro ne extract ɛne deɛ ɛkeka nnuro no ho nyinaa no yɛka fra na yɛakɔ hata ansa na yɛde yɛn nnuro no aba abɔnten aha no ɛyɛ mailing room na yɛde abɛɛfo mfidie a ɛyɛ stainless steel ɛde yam yɛn nnuro no ɛma yɛnya ne fɛ no standard pour size ansa na yɛakɔyɛ ne fɛ no capsulation aha no yɛyɛ ne yɛfrɛ no capsulation yɛyɛ capsulation ne wie a yɛsan so de abɛɛfo mfidie a ɛyɛ stainless steel yɛama fidie no apepa capsules no ho fɛfɛfɛfɛfɛfɛfɛ ansa na yɛakɔyɛ ne yɛfrɛ no counting and sealing So you're free encapsulation and polishing. Your ban your friend counting and sealing. The honso you're the abef in fidi a cuckoo down. And one cassa a king kind in no doa, a was a container beamu. If you are, your son so the silica gel at your tomb. Send your bear insure engine container no more. Now uncle say a drone and it na hoarding. A real safe dinner besan so a cat a drone of a fair with aluminium foil. Like silino kama ansa na eduro no aba abonten aha no ye won fidie a emma yenduro ni nyina na hyenso de ne friend label ewe fidie na nkasa asama ne friend manufacturing date ewe asama ne expiring date na wasanso ama no batch number enru ahodo mo hu se ye di efa fidie mu nyina ne so ahwe no nyame adom ni nyina aba abonten na na mo hu say ye display ne fefefe e wo ye table isu na senya mo nim deda no ne edi kan e ye Ghana bam eduro yi no e ye nku won aso anu ye hye na ye nam Hunam yaw bi eni ho a eduro yi entumi ensa. Enti sa wo pe eduro a etumi etu oyaw ase na eyi free ho ema ho etowa pe Ghana bam. Ye wo ahodo mienu, ye woni kase ene ne ketwa. Nya wo sika betimi aso no na wato. Ni atonso mienu no eye prostate eduro nwanso a ye di ebedwa so e fa ne prostate joy. Wei bema bi a wo pese wo bo prostate gland ho ban. And I say why ya catch us when your prostate disorder no. Wei ni eduro a ebetimi aboa. And I say when your urinary tract infections umpo a pedro e fa ne prostate joy. Na Ghana he nyina no eno ne eduro a etoso baako eduro bia esen eni ho biom. Afen so enu na aka no enia ebedwa so very soon. Wei aya Zulu 3-in-1. Emma matinka akofom. A munya ne fe ne feelings no. Afei mo nso mo eduro na ebedwa so. Nti mo hwe enim kwan. Enche bia eba. Afei se wo ye bema wa ho de ekofom e wo mpemu a. Anaso pese wo sisimo aye den. And the eduro a ye friend say Ghana man. And ebeboa wo. Enche bia ye de bebedwa so. And nti mo hwe enim. Ye sanso on ye friend save 500. Ghana ha nyina no ye ka immune booster. Ano odin na ano ohia. Ye sa immune booster we. Eno so ye dro bia enche bia ye de ebebedwa so. Na yetimi ako eti ayarewa ahodo pi. And nti mo hwe enim. Ghana Herb Therapeutics ye nani so ade hu no se. Ye de ayaresa eni enije ebema nipa nyina. Na ha no ye bomoden se ye de abefu mfidi ekuku down. Ene ekwan ahodo a ye nam so ede ye enduro. Na bomoden se ye nduro ni nyina ye nduro eye safe and efficacious with proven evidence. Na afen so no ya ma ye nduro nyina bo abafom se ne be ya obi bia se wo yesikani o se wo ye oheni o mu nyina motimi atobi na monya ayaresa ede amamo ho. Wei ene dwumedia Ghana Herb Therapeutics yaba se ba bedi wo Ghana ha ene wiase afa na nyina. Eno ntine se wo pe ye chiri akwan ana se wo pe se wo ne ye edi nkomo ana se wo pe ye nduro bi etu atowa obetimi afrayin. It was 0244 727028. And I say 0244 754380. Yadamwase. Ghana Herb Therapeutics.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Hey, good papa.
Ghana bam, if your what apostle, your waist, all your body, you make bazaar.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Me ba choma me Ghana bam on me. Kese ni me no keto ana me nsa.
So me wona manyina tutsume me waist me chi me baby me ko so dwani na me yasa. I feel good.
Wa sa. Ah, abege. What are you?
No me my hospital.
Ghana bam. To wait here from doctor no. Where you there?
Ebia o.
What massage me?
20 cedi.
This is Tiabako. Ghana bam. Yen to embeto ha. First Tiabako nti. Efen chuobi 20 cedis. Hey.
We need doctor. Nemo say we the Ghana bam come. Say am tuo. So so. If we can Ghana bam, you can resist.
Power 97.9 Dwabo Ase dwumadie ne baby a wo bia koso an kan ho me amente won katiti ma modi achi e Facebook live Power 979 Power 979 ebre na so say ye de ye komotwetwe no e be hyehyɛ so to say the medical culture no ye ne the member of parliament ma de hye wo Cape Coast South constituency Honorable Kwaku Reketagan and e ba betwetwe komo na ba ye sigasam entoto ye de ho pa no e hopa no wa bi mu ye na no ye na enche bia na se na oka yes tekpe mo ho na omoboa ame atoto yesika semu afa ba ye dwadie ho nsem edrum pepenso bi woni honorable Dr. Kospio Gabra ko ye adwuma na fe omobo mo ho moden ewo ho na ene ba bia ye gina eye o man Ghana yesika sem entoto ye no emfonyi ben ene ebetime atwa afa Ghana sika sem ho aginsemu kura ye ntimi nya bibi mfa ho to the sense say aban asema work can say 6.9 billion a mususu say ye benya every 11 mu no eno na betimi aboa ama o man Ghana sika sem no etimagina ye sa na tia na wabra ratings agency bi to say S&P Moody's Fitch come onsem omode o man Ghana sika sem ato apaso esusu akari no mo kasa se de ayet de no e de na kire ebeti aboa ama mpanimfo a eso omudi akoniaba omune na na mamamfo man so etima sere ama mamfo de omusika abecho oman mu ana anaje nsem ana se bredu se ye de yani behwe ye kurom ha na ya hwe bia ye betimi de ense awura aboa ma ye sika sem etima gina ye ye ene nkomo a ye ba bedi na no pai e wo Dwabo Ase dwumadie so wabra ye ne honorable Kwakuru Ketegan ehia honorable ya mo ache wako aba
moya kwa me majodo
da Cape Coast South to say
nyamela do bibia boko mo fo ba nchare
fantastic fantastic na me di nkomo twetwe bia na wo twe achie na me gidi say ni we ehia but answer na ye beko eye oman Ghana ye economic outlook no ma memfa asem ya His Excellency Dr. Mamadou Bawumia ereto amanfo anim entu anim wo say yes so ya yes say na Nano Waka said if the fundamentals of the economy is weak, the exchange rate will expose you. Was it Ebia man tell us na say? Was it be anyway? Dear Danzi and I say we seek we seek say Ghana case you see say yet the hair and I say muya mera say wo seek a sem fapem no I am mre what ben a basic asem what ben why you join finance ministry that near working winning a yard
yo Kwame medase ozikan minchia wetie funyina wona wotie Cape Coast na baby away fi odu Ghana henyina mama obi aso official pa my first time we studio this year on yinti mama obi official pa you hope you enjoy official pa but picture wa Ghana sisi ano on here a very good one na ya hwene ya nzama obaginsemu ha nti ye du point says ya NDC MPP politics ncho de yutum yaze twi baby na abani ye hwekona ye budu da mabani obotum oza amrambra papa bankrofo won bottom because my government already says ya no if we continue this country will be bankrupt in no time
your mind do you impeding for no omokoso ya
the man be bankrupt
mine be bankrupt wow
in no time
what kwan be so
first of all, my answer, Dr.
Bawumia,
you know, Dr. Bawumia, statement now, you know, it was an economic statement, but the way Omeki statement, you know, Nankasa or restriction, in that case, the reverse of the argument, you know, is also true. Also, if your fundamentals are weak, your exchange rate
will expose
you. But there are so many things or feed into exchange rates. Okay, so it's not only your fundamentals, even external factors can make your exchange rate, you know.
Okay, external factors are about
external factors, the BB dollar in currency. So if something else is happening in the United States in terms of US interest rate, in terms of oil, the Muslim can have an impact.
COVID the external factor.
Well, COVID the universal factor more or less, or a global factor. So no subutime
impact.
Yeah, you know. But fundamentals. The honorable experience we experience. In economics, no, I'll make other factors be another a constraint one. Okay, move on the in Zama A, B, C. No more affect to exchange rate, but you just pick B, and that's your fundamentals. That if the fundamentals are weak, your exchange rate will expose you. So you are keeping A and C constant. In that case, the reverse, if the same parameters are also still constrained, then the reverse will also be true. If your B, are weak, your Z will expose you. In that case, if your Z is weak, it means you've been exposed by your fundamentals.
But Sydney na ho mmere no na say mmere aye no what the to afia abesene corner even time na mo aban mu a den pa na echesa den pa na call from pa time na mo aban mu na say sabre ya MPP wa aban.
Well, that comparison sometimes go on your fair, but let's just take it the beginning of this year. Sydney will depreciate, almost nearly 5%. Ghana's cedi in Africa is the second worst currency at the moment.
According to why?
Well, if you read all the it's probably not even the second worst. It's now the worst currency in Africa, at the moment. And that itself is frightening.
In fact, you fact check it. You can see say no cry na say no cry. You better with the man.
Yeah.
You better with yeah. Check it. Producers when you say
now. Let's look at the Ghana's economy very quickly. Give you a profile. Why we are in dangerous times. Since NDC left office to date, MPP have almost about 230 billion Osaka economy. Now here debt is looked at as around 350 billion or whoever you talk to, but at least 344 billion. 341.8 as at the time the budget we read in. Now the budget we read now, we read in November. In some of feed into the budget, it's up to credible information, it's up to maybe September. So you have a last quarter, or there's a count. If you add the last quarter, your debt will go 344. In some of what happened just this year, as a count, our debt is almost about 350 billion, or it will be, in no time.
Wow. That's
just debt. If I hear deficit, a difference between here expenditure, no here revenue. In fact, what deficit build up to your debt, because the difference now between your expenditure and your revenue now year by year, then it makes up your deficit. So there is a direct relationship between deficit and your debt. So once you continue to run a deficit, you continue to rake up your debt. So your debt says it's about 83% of our GDP. GDP only in the economy, which at the moment is around 430 billion. Okay.
Wow.
So, and that is the who state, before I ever hear debt to GDP, now, so let me give you a year. America, the man no says is near bankrupt. Shawa said, as a person, if Shawa said no liability.
With Japadi,
with Japazi, no, what Kawazi. Difference, so, Mawa, was said to those who we are, then we are in good health. Says the other way around, or you have a problem. If the gap is Usa, that's also not healthy.
But what Ghana case in it to say?
Ghana case, if you take out, on the asset side, you have here GDP. You have about 430 billion. Ghana GDP is only about 65 billion US dollars. So that's roughly about, 430 billion. F4 on 430. Now another asset on the revenues at EBGG, you may or may not get that revenue, but you project your revenue to be 100 billion. So 100 billion as a car, GDP no or your output no, that's 530 billion. Okay. Now, bro, what liability side? What liability on your kawa as a plus what expenditure on that particular year? Yeka is about 344 as a expenditure as a kawa. You look at the number.
Expenditure say sika what the baby be.
Yes. Into expenditure, another appropriation. You appropriate sky ever spend no money. It has better 145 if you take the total appropriation of about 145 and as a car 344 no you are looking at figures 344, right? Plus see, do you do the math there?
Okay. But wabra ye busa nkonta no asamba kwa odi tu dwa say nhwemu abeda di say oman Ghana yesika city yesede no yesika mu omre pa wa bibi mem ha no me call ye Google and say ye check here no and some of the buy and say Ghana city has been ranked as the second worst performing currency in Africa among 15 top performing currencies. The local currency has depreciated by 4.70% to the US dollars. And the report by Joy Business indicated that the cedi is currently trading at 6.60 pesos to $1 on the forex market.
Okay.
Into that,
that's what.
But our list now, South African rand, no, and I'm 4.5%. Namibian dollar and I'm 4.49%. It will be see na Nigeria naira no and I'm negative 0.2%. And I'm Morocco dirham no negative 1.18%. Ghana cedi negative 4.70%. And a Zimbabwean Zambian kwacha no and no minus 11.29%.
So but and this all factions that all happen since or you quite dangerous. The in what is ahead are frightening. Now, okay, yembati yefa yen assets or yen revenue, yen GDP to be about 530. Yen 145 appropriation plus yen 380, which will give you about 490 roughly. So the difference between your asset and your liability is only about 40 billion. For a country, that is quite frightening. Able to squander that money, and it depend on a lot of things. It depend on you being able to get your revenue and you being able to keep within your expenditure. If it goes beyond that, that 40 million will be wiped out very easily. You being able to get your revenue, say Sika would you see when you say tax revenue. Yes, tax revenue this year. You expect you hit about 20% mark, which will be about 80 billion. The total revenue itself is about 100 because when you add the total domestic revenue plus grants, and grants, so what they count in a total 100 billion. My calculation based on the 100 billion if we don't, that itself is a problem. And see, when you look at that, it tells you that Ghana is only about not more than a year away from bankruptcy. Because if your liability obey kasichan wo asset na, you are basically bankrupt. Bankruptcy to say you see what Greece na. Yes. Yes, and that's exactly what we are talking about. Very dangerous. I am very, very dangerous. Greece is better than us. Okay. Because at least Greece, they know the whole of Europe is there to bail them out, which they did. You know, it's more or less a first world economy. But then, who will come and bail us out? Every year, what is happening. Apart from the situation here, 83% our debt to GDP, here deficit is around 12 point something. Yeah. You know, as at last year, 15% and other things that previously, and then we are hoping that you be 9.1. On the crowd, depend on a lot of things. Being able to get your revenue. If you don't get your revenue, you can't. The government is desperate for them levy. Because of baby, I want to box one. But I need the World Bank country director no. Brand one name Joy. We have come out Joy business no. What I say? Ebe here say Ghana. Ebe show no one kasa ne memu. No wa fe no mehu. No wa pe kwan ya obetima aboa sika no. No na ebia ebetima aboa Ghana sabre. Enya no no mo ye no. So looking inwards. Well, you see, government before the pandemic, before the COVID. And the figures wasn't hanging on correct. Okay, in the long run, in front of you, was a clay this wooden, na a humutu, no obudenugu, na Yamea or Domina a sorry clay numa. As they blame me first, only a humano, way to a humia way to Nawama, Mudani Webu. But when you issue round, no neighbors want to know Sisiwa, not say the clay this wooden. on the one more than neighbor. That's exactly Ghana's economy was built on clay with a lot of deception. Because we send baby into pandemic can be no. Now I say as some require. After pandemic, the same World Bank can answer. You look at the sana here's a couple of one to support the pandemic. It was about 430 billion.
That's right.
A million, not the 100 million a time behind and then the 1 to 2 billion a year from IMF. Almost 300 million a year from Ghana Infrastructure Fund, and all these other money, stabilization fund, and all this money, a kabuma about over 30 billion was used in fighting the pandemic. The pandemic in Abasama Lucy, Abra Hospital and the Mabeni also a pandemic in a single hospital, none. It be so one of a ward. Okay, so it tells you clearly that this amount of money, 33 billion American $1 which is about almost the amount of money or between an asset, no liability, was just wasted. The Mexican was wasted. Well, that's the
kind of budget
that's the question. Yes. Because the only thing you can let me say COVID or yes, severe, so that hospitals were built.
Yeah.
The people will see hospital or park or the proper hospital by the army and all that. None of these things happen here. When you were echo a or friend and Elwako so 10 TB were at the peak of the pandemic. What they can for? I mean, be saying about COVID a year of friend and a year was the bringing no vaccines was the bringing. Most of them was the China. A cray cotton. We screwed it up on a Sputnik, on the feeding. Yes, you're feeding Kwafu because of the lockdown. You have to be feeding Kwafu for over 2 weeks.
But you say 54 million.
But we spend that much money in total, which our CCR still is not been accounted for. A serious
and
problem. Well, we are asking these questions, but the answers are not coming.
How?
Ibisa answer now. Ibisa the president, about Nipple Rosie to Kwan, finance minister, no release this can. Also, won't be a security minister. Security minister, on for information beyond.
What's national security?
Well, and also a national security. See, it's like everything. They will find somewhere else to put it. Because Ibisa or your taxpayers' money, and you are saying, no, security, the president and the one way to read. And what is the security implication here now? So, problem says here. Now here ratings on now the worst situation Wabakan who says here. Because says here not today we use about interest payment alone in this year or about 37 billion is how much we will have to pay. Compensation is about 35 billion that we also have to pay. A KBN Buma, we are over 70 billion, about 73 or 74 billion. Now, here tax revenue itself is about 80 billion. It's 80 billion, 74 billion, you only left with 6 billion. That's the yearly video you're looking for. And see, it tells you clearly that over 90% of our tax revenue, according to figures Iboma, will be used in paying compensation and interest payment. Interest payment, you have to add arrears, what is it called, amortization, or the principal payment. As we are talking about 40. Okay, so that itself, Ghana, we are almost bankrupt.
It is 6.9 billion in your
6.5 million, and 80 billion point 6.59 billion. See, so the problem is here, we will default on our debt. You know, most of these rating agencies, if you read one a year what showing a report now they would have downgraded us further. The only thing of holding in CCR only there you will reserve kakrebi. The reserve is I think about 7 billion or something, which will cover maybe 3 to 4 months of import cover. Only no hold the CCR because only the here revenue cannot pay our debt. So right now we are basically taking from the central bank to pay service our debt. But them reserve, in the past, you build reserves, with euro bond, another foreign borrowing from the international capital market. Only as a build up honestly the worker downgrade here into the 3 billion we got last year from Eurobond into our reserves now. One here reserves we buy 6-7 billion. That money is not going to come again this year.
Mami aba nia e wo se yes abre se de be ya ye betima sa ye ho yare wo ze yare no na wetwa wo mfonyi di a kire se ye ba bia ye dru no enche bia no e kana de amini ya wie e na sika no so e bi ni ho
na bibi kakra wa mpeda maka wo rating agency no. Okay, just to finish it.
Mami aba ho mami minim se be ni so person ka but mami aba quick one just on the e-levy.
Yeah,
because no appears to be ade aban no de na ni atoso a what you say no beba beji enkwa. Now Ghana fonso hwehwe amanyofo amwo mrahye bedwafia mo betima aka bia ma omo base yekote asemi ti se de owura ochireba afika se mo NDC for kra mo mrahye bedwafia no wokokwam no bogitum se e-levy no beboa babo ba bedwam na mo ka bibi foforo se be am take assembly free na no be pese ye hwe ne okaye wa bra no na adwadifo etwetwe nkomo wo de ti ade we sisi
Magi aboni na to for my mesini na yen so say ade wa kuzo awa yan kan say yan twa yi levi no me e ko World Bank and say e ko IMF say e ko jebosia inya ko e na omekete na abdanko kufu say free senior high school non culture okamwa munyina mo manam I'm real school, I'm a school, I'm a school. Sunset. When I'm out here, just walk. Miss Samuel Bushafo, me a member of parliament. Many NDC for the parliament. There be I am here to move to parliament. Who NDC for? NDC for any MPP for no, more parliament. Yangina, Yakitum. NDC for no, Ajatum say, you live in here. Debi omuka tire say yenyire ehuni empushi Debi omuka tire say yenyire ehuni empushi bomba bedwam bia no muka bibi foforo wenye indictment wo so in fact eyeden na wo say Ghana for Djibouti say mu betima kwa amaye na de muka e wo bedwam no ye asempa
coming I am very unfortunate that a member of parliament and a minister for that matter a deputy minister of trade
and industry.
Oboko kagina bagum na wakan nsama otedam. Nukwe bi enyim.
Nukwe bi enyim.
I don't know. I wish you would come out and the obobabo boy there. Many dem you pay kasa na many dem you pay kasa. Baba make statement there and you want to kasa. Who no onyina kasa nyipa kona kacha ndo pay e-levy. Your position is very clear on the e-levy. And whenever time was the e-levy in Baba Parliament ibia minority will deliver 137 votes no.
I get you on that. And but to be sure, send your working and you know, I mean, so because I'm told so we see on your chrono.
Yeah.
Is that idea of best suggestions of penny for ye? Say modern court.
I don't know. I think this thing came out or there's abandoned or something like that. So I'm sure that leadership and then the extended leadership and probably Inyano will take a view at what we need to do because it's an unfortunate statement. Nukwebi like I say, a trade AEB quite recently 2-3 days ago. And I want him to come out and say that the minimum pay, maybe the court route, I don't know if it's available to us, but leadership will determine that. Another, maybe parliament within its own structures. I don't know if somebody goes out of parliament, or Kakasama, or Tidama, whether that person should be brought to us at the privileges committee or not. I don't know. But I think a view will be taken. Although be inano. Now, somebody can, what my substantiate in there, the minimum pay, more important than work at the mass and jam. Another obi can and also say no be enyim, but you see desperate times or require desperate measures, and you can see clearly that a desperate man trying to get his government to pass the e-levy.
Oh my desperate saying. a town hall meeting.
Yeah, they are going around. Was spent, the unfortunate thing is that as I'm told away before the year living Babano, that sort of consultation away should have been done before, not after the event. And they are spending them expenditure now. They are spending money going around doing this town. What the hotel, even if the town hall is free, transportation, fuel, I was call. What's it? The one a convoy cars be bringing fuel, so they are already adding to the expenditure. By the time you live or you're out, it won't happen. So when you live in, know the half was I town hall meetings, but no could be anymore. And I think that it's quite irresponsible and disgraceful for him.
You're back to rating agencies, Now on the back of that, now me musa question with Bernard. It was our question. We were big issue. Maybe we said the same thing. What, sir? Baby, are you way? We've been here before.
Yeah.
Rating agencies, akasafa and hoping. When your first time, our match baby, economy no one. Now, your father come wa ben sabria. Kedia pan amobe.
First and foremost, I mean, one rating so badly like this before. I mean, Moody's, Yenya CWA1 rating before. I mean. Actually, we are getting to the junk of bonds. The rating or being, you look at it, we have the actual rating of the bond and we have the outlook of the economy. Outlooking, as the rating or in the future now. So when investors are looking at what rating, they look at your rating and your outlook. Outlook in your basa. Now, all the three agencies, Standard & Poor, Moody's, and Fitch, were present a similar alphabet and numbers. Now was a year when but Moody wasn't we using. Instead of using one alphabet we using, we use a small a's. Okay, so if you have maybe say triple C, wasn't by a CAA, and then the one means that or a plus.
Okay.
So triple C plus is the same as CAA1. If it's 2, if the number is 2, it means it's stable. Okay. If the number is 3, it means that it's negative.
It's just a bon cry.
And then your outlook. So we bond nakasa we trade international market. No was a rate 2. Then your outlook on the economy for you to be able to solve the rating problem. Into catch or the CAA1 stable. Or say you can actually climb back up.
Okay.
Say Fitch was a B minus negative. B once you view in there. What downgrade to B minus, but the chances that it doesn't descend the view are very, very high.
Wow.
Your outlook is negative. Well, Standard & Poor, they maintain their A. But 3 major international rating agencies, 2 of them says you are very, very bad. And one of them says you are bad, but let's see what happens. You are in serious trouble. Now, instead of addressing the issue, MPP government, why a petition?
Yeah.
Was but what happens is rating agency will rate you information will be rated to you as in your budget, and some of them one can picking elsewhere. So information in the budget comes from where? It comes from Ghana.
That's right.
Statistical information comes from Ghana Statistical Service, and other things that they pick elsewhere in comparison with other, our peers. We rate who we are. Until them will be a media man in your story. Will be able to cancel me one publish. Now from there, the master we are going to press, but give us your version of the story.
That's right.
Into your version on your credible. Yes, your story record. If your version is credible, then we need further interrogation. It's the same way the rating agencies work. When they finish your ratings of all the information they then bring you the report and say that this is the report on you. A, B, C, D is not going well. And he tell us what is happening here. Now we are convinced that in some American or you're credible and now as I said by yen or ya achievable. A catcher on there, I will cut my expenditure by 20%.
Okay, but our report no more doesn't need to be a physical presence, a meeting.
Yes. Yeah, that's what I mean. What COVID BB, that is virtual.
Yeah,
because it's the same meeting.
But still a meeting.
A meeting.
Okay.
I mean, you have your government representative from Ministry of Finance, probably with the minister, and Bank of Ghana, probably with the governor. And then on the rating agency side, you have the head of that sovereign risk group with NITIM. Now, these guys work in a team, and I've worked with them for many years, not as an employee of theirs, but the past banks that I worked for outside. No, we deal with because any countries in Kuchina will rate one, we rate to companies now. So I know at least have an idea how they work. They work as a team. Into our team, our from one sub-Saharan sovereign risk group, made up of a number of people, headed by one person. Now, when you petition, they single out a lady called Lucy Vela.
That's right.
That lady only was number January 22nd. She onim Ghana honsam. Omba Ghana yeah. And then they mentioned another guy. Also, in person, so supervisor Matt Robinson. Look, let me tell you the real story about these people. As some of our petition, it's not true.
Oh, really?
Yes. Lucy Vela has been working as the senior vice president or a lead analyst for the what is it called? Sub-Saharan. Catch a team into a number of countries. Okay, including Ghana, Nigeria, Angola, South Africa, and all that. So as we work as a team, Kwame, today maybe you'll be working on Ghana, but we share the same information.
That's right.
And then maybe tomorrow you'll be working on Zambia. Then I will work on this. Maybe next time I will work on Ghana. But it's a team. We all work together, but somebody becomes like responsible in the meetings because maybe we all can't go to the meeting. But information over pooling or the same information headed by the sovereign risk guy, whether it's Zambia, whether it's Ghana, he will take the final look and send this out. Let me tell you that if you Google on Lucille and if you go to one AR website, that lady has been working in that group for 14 years.
Hey. That's just like
14 years. I have the document here I can show you. So the woman has been in
Ghana buying him.
Well, in fact, they are trying to support them. It's desperate times, you know. I can't desperate in Zama. This woman did not arrive. When we do a friend Moody on January 22nd. Maybe or any time they don't all work on Ghana, but they work in a team. It's information sharing, and these are all African sovereign risk experts.
Regardless of country, yeah,
almost information is the same.
Okay.
In some was the rate or the same. It has a checklist. So they pull all the information together. So if you are in a team, you can go and look at what's going on in Ghana and everything. Somebody can ask you. They're a team of experts. And as countries, they look after it. Now, Ghana is in as a supervisor to them, who is the head of the division or the head of the group. He's been working on this particular area group for the last 10 years. In fact, he has been in Moody for 20 years. He's worked for that company. I have the document all here. I'm going to raise the question to the minister on the floor of Parliament. Why they say this woman arrived in January 22nd. I'm on evidence what this woman or person or friend.
And you're raising this question because Ghana buying,
yeah, because what Ghana buying or tarnish the image of an executive or Yujuma when we have worked with them in the past. This government is working, future government will work with them. These are the rating agencies. Says, yeah, no, they say they are setting up their own rating agencies.
Yeah.
You know,
so the sense that Ghana Stock Exchange, you know,
it's really.
And look, take into consideration, Jinaya Mampai, Nanado Danko Kufuado is here, our rating agencies.
Yeah, you know, I think it's about time that Africa, Obenya rating agency, or rate the African economies and rate the bonds here Africa. In the past, no. In Africa, you're involved in international capital market a lot because most of us, poor countries, we depend on World Bank concessionary loans and all that. As we become a middle income and all that, some of the countries, we're progressing to get to the international capital market. So Africa itself needs its own rating. You're able to me as I compare what these Moody's and stuff are doing, so that if there's a difference, then somebody will have to explain it. Yeah, in Ghana, you know. Look, there are two different types of ratings. Okay, one, or let's say, you're from domestic, but credit rating agencies. There's a credit rating agency, sometimes local, sometimes regional. Will rate the credit of individuals or citizens in that country. In the Eco Bank and Akaji Busana Eco. What is it called? What you tell since your banks you don't even remember the bank. If you go to this CNG or whatever CG, CBG, consolidated bank. Now you can loan or information as I'm on actual maybe you are not living there and Zika baby or maybe a Zika baby no. All they have to do is to go to the credit agency. The credit agency of there. As the car commercial bank, baby, I said, when they last check your address, or you want also a credit rating agency. They want international credit rating agency. When you fix the mood is nothing. They rate corporations, they rate countries, they rate bonds, and my account what actually will be rate bonds, but the kind of information we require because. It's not only about rating Ghana and then somebody will come and buy our bonds. They will compare your rating to the international ratings because international ratings on our scope, what share a lot of things. You are just looking at your country. Like the finance minister is saying, if the finance minister on Ghana rating agency, no see ratings now other man correct. I mean, Okutanani ratings. It has to be looked at with the international one. To see that ratings now are credible. So you will not turn your economy around by setting up your rating agency to rate yourself.
It means
you will turn your economy around by doing the things that will grow your economy.
No, but
reduce your debt, reduce your deficit, reduce your inflation, get your rein in your currency, and all the things are out there. Right policies to create jobs. These are the things that will grow the economy, not by setting up your own rating agency.
My question is, so one casa will rating one. Now they are 70 jar. Say no so champ for you for.
Yeah, a champ for you, but
amount for banana.
Not necessarily.
Sir.
Now, if I can want some there, oh, you are a good man, you are this, you are that, then I come and invest in you. I have to do some my own search on you from an independent. So the rating agencies, they don't belong to any country. Okay, even though they are set in the US and UK and all that, and they are global. But if you set up a rating agency, specifically a Ghanaian company to rate Ghana's bonds, it's not going to make you credible.
Okay.
If your information now, as a manner is rate on your credible information.
Okay. Yeah.
So it will still be compared with the international. Fix the problem in our economy. Let's stop borrowing to reduce our debt. Let's reduce our deficit. Cut expenditure because there are about 20% waste in our expenditure. That, I think it's on that basis.
Many examples waste in the
well, waste. First of all, so many government promises, flagship programs. Actually, I always use planting for food as an example. Okay, planting for food. Sound great, food and jobs. Sounds great. We need to plant food for job security. And also create for food security, and also you create jobs.
Yeah.
Now, since 2017, the contribution of agriculture another specifically crops, no contribution to GDP has been going down since 2017 when they started the Planting for Food program. So this is the only country where the more food you plant, the less you harvest. Where is it going? All the money, borrowed money, you invest in this program, we are not getting the intended result. You create jobs in the agriculture sector, and we are not getting the food. Here, food inflation, nekasa or yezibon inflation. Necessary a few also wabakahum. So this one example means that or the Dama program nankasa, we take a look at it and look whether we are spending money wisely there. Fertilizers are they getting to the right places? And so many other things. You can even look at the free education and see whether again good policy and on beyond policy is enshrined in our constitution that when the economy is right, free education should be free. The difference between us and them is that we said do it progressively as we're subscribing to our constitution. This is free education now. It's like independence now, and so that's there. But when it's going to be the shortest possible time, you must have the shortest possible resources to be able to do it. When you don't have it, if you education, yes, it might be a good investment, but it means that in zaman care all day, you will not be able to do them. Then the waste and the corruption is that when you take about a president, no flight to Kwana, we have a state or a presidential jet, then you rent a jet for millions of dollars. And then when we want you to make an account there, you don't want to make that account.
A presidential jet, no matter problem, it must shut. Now you are too fine in your problem.
Well,
I
don't think
First Minister Dominic
I don't think that President Nana Akufo-Addo is bigger and taller than President Mahama. Okay, and an average person. So if you use a flight, we didn't have any problem. I mean, we've not elected a giant as a president, where we now need a double the size of the aircraft.
But not the structure necessarily, but and do more acquainted.
And you're not power, and you're the same. The relevant people that you want to connect is the people you travel with. So why is it that all of a sudden the relevant people to travel with, they are more than number of people are here you want to connect? Look, this is a president who wants to have a comfortable lifestyle at the expense of, his people. No comfort to have a bath in the air and do all the other things we've been hearing about. I can't substantiate it because, but hearing all the things we are hearing, that kind of waste angers people when you ask them to pay more taxes. Because look, the general saying also nobody wants to pay tax. It's not true. No. It's not true. Let me qualify the statement. It's not about nobody wants to pay taxes. But when people are paying taxes, they want to see that what taxes now it is being used judiciously or is being used for the things that the government look at. The government builds roads, builds hospitals, builds schools, all these things. They have done roads. Every year is a year of roads. They are doing something. But the way working roads are some you will expect. As I said, Agenda 111, not a single hospital has been completed. Okay? Schools, not a single school. When you ask them about, just as Ibisama about hospitals, I was they are building walls. When you ask them about schools, they say they are building classrooms. Until when President Mahama was building schools, President Akufo-Addo built classrooms to add to those schools. A lot of wastage in the system. So the wastage, the leakages, the corruption. On and on, won't feel there. I am going to take tax. We'll go to check tax. My president also I can hear plane with him. Another ministers and someone was I enjoy one. Then that task to them is not justifiable. Apart from the time say you will or difficult for such taxes. And then quite apart from that, any tax or tax savings which leads to investment. Because who savings only there's a investment domestically. So about 50% of Ghanaians were not, or more than that, We're not banking, formal banking. Since the banking is the e-wallet, the capital was only what is on their phone. What you loans are, they put it on their phones. So if you are going to tax all these things, what you want income, it's on their phone. So if you are taxing an income that has already been taxed by an income tax, you are doing double taxation. If you tax savings, that is going to go into investment. You are making investment in the country, or you are disinvesting the country.
Okay.
These are the problems.
So but you am not meant for a man from them. May imagine saying maybe a phone lines and knock my friend. Ben so your time no kwa na echo. Message we say good morning kwa menka. Catch honorable record take and say ne wama many ajepa say they we say ato no boy say apapa yesika sem no emunsem amaye no. Now message we say good morning. Please Kwame, I transferred my some amount of money from my bank to my wallet. Omo charge me 86 cedis. Sikano ne 8,700. Kwame Pesemi who said adewe ne kwanso no ana kojo ena the message we free akosombo ebae. We say good morning. Mete ye Hopesin Adoye se woka bibia fa abronya DC say na wo person of free IGP. Kwame bi say honorable Ricky Tegan say sa ye suppression of free speech na say ye tatans and drefo nyina no. We eya ade a ye beti aton ama investor bia ba o man mu ana. We a message free James or share free and ye kumase. Sulensu tie ono so a message or about say the 70 boy the normal be boy day or mine no say agin semu NDC form so most munche bibia and just say betimi dey rare ahyemu message what the buy no we say I'm very disappointed with these so-called pastors and normal be bresi o man mo kan wasem John Mahama nchen no mo ko say one day say on ko convince na chita for so yentwa e-levy ana Kwame and the message we free doma ebae. No question so Kaswa of our say MPP knowing very well that there's no way you can use the IMF money to hiring. MPP knows very well that there's no way you can use IMF money to hire private jets. Into my you don't want to say IMF no anyone can see echo. And you know a question asma what the buy no. Honorable, what's the chapter na ABI open so reacted to and simply be a man for me maswa na fe
well what are they about your dog IMF? No, look, say in the matter of woman well, you prefer to stay away from the IMF.
Okay.
And do things to make sure that in the matter when in our time.
Is that to say it's a moment IMF?
No, that's not to say. I mean, where they are, and you want to work at IMF and I won't call. You know, they will end up there.
And for instance, one connect.
Well, okay, then we will see where the money is going to come from. You see, or there was soft and more posture. You know, the arrogance and the other things, it doesn't help. I mean, IMF is not an enemy. Okay. Members of the IMF, we sought all sorts of help from the IMF, whether it is technical, whether it's money and all that. I mean, when people go IMF, the COVID, one of them 1-2 billion or the IMF.
Well,
you know, so if you say that you don't want to go to IMF, I don't even know what you're talking about. Okay, now, see, but to me, because we've been to IMF, I understand about 16 times or so. So, what by something that's been going on for some time, and maybe somewhere along the line, we must be able to stop it. But it has to be done in a progressive manner. Progressive is a language this government doesn't understand. We need progressive. There's an timer. Now, situation says, yeah, as I'm telling you, Ghana economists or a technically an insolvent country. Asset, or let's put it mildly, Ghana within a year or so will become technically insolvent. Or an asset, you know, here liability, here GDP, or here the output, plus revenues, this year, you estimate into total of about 500, revenue is about 100 billion, as the count 530, no. FAO expenditure and our appropriation, as the count debt, which will give you almost also about 500, about 490, billion.
It's any that's one again.
A time will come. Euro bond and market because of downgrading, those bonds are not going to come in again. It's a time will come What central bank reserves now is you use your debt, especially the external one. Itself, you will not be able to meet them. Then in that case, you are technically insolvent. First, you have defaulted, and then when your asset becomes, your liability becomes bigger than your asset, you are insolvent.
Wow. Honorable Kwakuri Ketegan, Yebrene Nyayebre, Bedo Ase, and Ubra Unyama and Nano Pena. Breaking news, once I had you put to promote some year, the Bebremo, ye Premtuaka se bomo so, ye be muye Eddie Amamo, Kwame Bafo, aka Abronya DC, Yanity, say, Accra Circuit Court 8, Bench Supreme Court, and Mbako di na asem e bu nsem ye de bebrem prem to kase bomu basabre de Dwabo Ase ye de si me ni the Prince Kwame nka cha nyame ya doma ye be se chia ne abodwa danta e wo Power 97.9 na fe so Tvxyz ye sorry sama ajimai e de Power Mid Morning aba na fe so Tvxyz so ye be yimu sidi ka honorable me da se ye
yo masama da se let me catch up and use the windfall na ye benyan wo fuel no because we ye net exporter of fuel. Price is not concern. Government should be able to do something. Want to for taxes in one for the windfall of about $320 million that they will get, which translates to about 2 billion.
Very well.
One for being shown and one for price of oil no umbrella foam. People are suffering.
Ajimani so by Power FM Tvxyz ye bo nyom na fe so ya san so yi sini achamo. Ye be chi achira. Bye bye.